There we go. Man. Turn the brightness up. Okay. Woo! That was, I had to go drop the brother-in-law off at home. He came down for a little bit. I had to run him home. I'm back. I didn't get to do the normal promotional type of sharing it out all that much, the live, as I have in the past. I was busy today. A very, very trying day at work. Oh. Hello. Hello, world. Keep on kicking my stand. I should stop doing that. If I put it out a little bit. Well, hello, sir. It is cold out here. I'm rocking a little extra layering tonight in the barn. Hello, what's going on? My goodness, yeah. What is all this stuff? What is this? What is this racing stuff that I am observing in here? Now that the season's over, this stuff looks foreign to me. I've been trying to find a minute, come out to the barn. Yeah, trying to stay warm is right. It has been rainy and miserable in New York all day long. I got up this morning and we've had frost the past couple mornings, and this morning was rain, and I was just like, oh, at least it's not frost. But then it's been this way all day long. It's like, oh, I'm over it already. Like, bring the sunshine back. Going to, yeah, I know. That's I do miss racing. I miss getting stuff ready. I miss being out here and doing stuff, but also it's just it's kind of the northern way. Like, unless you do indoors, which I don't, the Coke syrup racing, it just, end of the season comes, it's just like, yep. And then I'll be fine for probably another, couple weeks to a month. I'll be fine. I could have technically raced last Saturday, but my wife and I were doing stuff, so that didn't happen. Yeah, it'll get to me. It'll eventually. It's a nice little break here. It's just between the channel and racing and everything else. But then the honey-do list started, and the people, hey, season's over. Let me start bugging about this and bugging about that, and it's like, fine, I guess I can do that. When's there? Yeah, cold. Yep, it's not pleasant, but there hasn't been any of the S word yet. Any recommended products for steering wheel grip wraps? I've done, like, I experimented with a couple things. At one point in time, I tried like tennis racket material, and it's good. The problem is you're in the dirt and everything, and you're really, when your hands are in the same position all the time, it has a tendency to kind of pull that foam stuff apart. I ended up with some what's on it's pretty rough now, but getting text messages. Hockey stick wrap. It does eventually, degrade after time. And kind of the stickiness will come, you'll start rolling edges, you get a little stickiness. But I found that hockey tape works really well. There's also, I don't know what Mac Kaler of Kaler Custom Karts, he puts it looks to me like a heat shrink. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'll flip around here. You might be able to reach out and ask him what this stuff is. But this is pretty nice. I think it seems to me like it's kind of a heat shrink wrap, but it's got a little thickness to it. I'm not quite sure what he uses, but hey, what's going on, Bill? Sear. I have to explain that to my wife. She's like, how's it spelled again? I said, C-Y-R. And she's like, huh, kind of like Chris C. And I'm like, I know, call him Chris Say for all those years. And then he finally, it was like, hey, man, it's C, right? And I'm like, no, I did not know that. Yep. But yeah, if you're, you could, I'm sure you could reach out to Mac Kaler of Kaler Custom Karts Parts, and ask him what he's putting on his steering wheels. Other than that, I would suggest probably hockey stick grip tape. That seemed to hold up pretty good for a while. And I mean, I could have easily bought another roll of it and rewrapped mine to make it look nice, but I just kind of, it gets beat up, you get used to it, and then that's that. Uh, Easy last name. Yep. Yep. Christopher C of C High Performance. SEAY. We say all the time. So if somebody says Chris say or say High Performance, I go, yep. And then but now I try in because he's a friend of mine. I don't ever want to insult somebody if that's the way your name's pronounced. I try and do it that way. I can understand, like, if somebody were pronouncing my last name Taft or something like that, I would be like, bro, where are you getting Taft? The only thing that really I've found as of recently, like I was walking in Walmart and I walked down and somebody called them ramen noodles. And I'm like, whoa, bro. Who says ramen noodles? It's ramen. Anyway, a little sidetrack there. I thought one of the topics, and it's not a big deal. It's a big to do in the karting world. Was Terry Odom. I want to talk about the subject. Just Terry's a super dude, and I got no beef or anything with him. Reaper had an issue. Apparently, it was a batch of tires that went south, and of course, I can understand why people got upset. I totally understand, and I feel like there's a 20,000 win race there coming up, and it was getting pretty bad on the internet, and obviously I won't partake in that stuff. It's not my lane to be in. But Terry just I think he was using it as a time to kind of bow down for a little bit and spend time with his family, not be amidst the drama. But it's sad to see, and then of course the rumor mill started. I was watching, and not saying they're rumor mills, but the Ultimate Kart Media guys, they were speaking on this last night, and I just thought I'd bring it up too. That everybody gets talking behind the scenes, and what's going to happen with Reaper, and is Mr. Maury going to continue? Is the Reaper done for? I don't think so. I think it might be a little struggle because I honestly, say what you will about Terry. Some people like him, some people don't. It's fine, but he was good at promotion for the sport. I honestly believe that some of the stuff that it could have been handled better. I'm an all tire kind of guy. I come from UAS, so I am an open tire, by heart. Um, it, I think, the internet stuff really, it was doing a disservice to the tire. The tire's intended, thing, the tracks that were signing up, trying to save, people money and stuff like that. I get all that. I hate to see Terry kind of go out like that. I think he'll be back. I mean, Terry Odom, promotions is still a thing, but I think, like it was a bit much to have so many people kind of after them after all tires have an issue eventually. I don't know that Vaga has, but that doesn't mean that it's just something I might have. Is it just colored by? I guess it's just the light on my mustache. It looks light on there. Anyway, but Burris has had some dismounting issues in the past. I think they found the problem with that. There was way back. I remember Max has had a bad batch of tires, and that was years ago, and they've since corrected it. And I think that Reaper will correct this issue. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of Reaper being a bad tire by any stretch of imagination. Do I think it's the greatest tire for up north here? Probably not. But if everybody's on them, if you have a race that like the Dream at the Dream, where everybody's on them, it's fine. Everybody's going the same speed type of thing. Not a big deal. But yeah, it. I just hate to see it. I have I haven't spoke to Terry on the phone or anything, but we corresponded back and forth I think it's last year, beginning of the year, sometime, something like that. Ended up with a couple sets of tires to play with, uh, and I just all around. Some people cheer it on, and I don't like that. I do like to see change, but I don't want to see somebody right in the midst of of an issue, um, you know, internet related, decide that he had had enough. But maybe it's just a time like the press release that he put out, the press release that Reaper put out. Amicable, if I can't say big words, terms that they talked, and just like, hey man, I'm going to take a break, and I'm cool with it. The older I get, the more taking a break. It's just like you can push through, or you're just like, what, this is a bit much for me. I'm good for a little bit. Cool everything off, and yeah, things happen. Hopefully it works out. Yeah, that's what I hope. I don't wish Reaper ill will at all. I don't dislike the tire. I can understand what's going. The racers being upset at what happened. I saw a tire with 8 laps on it that it wasn't good. The cord showing through in 8 laps is not good. Now, I'm not blaming the racer either. To make those things fast on a good track, everything that I've heard is you got to get the rubber off them. And I did some for that last race, and I saw an improvement. So I understand if you went a little bit too far, if there already wasn't enough rubber there to begin with, it was a disaster just waiting to happen. So don't want to blame either side. I think not that maybe it was just a bad batch and it had a defect in the sidewall. It's all that. Yeah, it all could have been better all around. I guess I'll say that. Scaling Junior Champ out. Should I run a little less or more cross than recommended settings? Keep the cart glued to the track rather than on the edge. If Mr. Alan Cooper is in here, his son runs a Junior Champ, he would be a better recommendation of that. In general, my perception of it is I've never ran a champ. Junior Champ, obviously, I didn't come in until I was 25 years old. So, okay, I was checking my mic. My perception has always been that they run more or as much cross as possible, and left side weight, and really a lot of right front negative camber. But that is not every platform. That is not every champ kart. That is, I am unknowledgeable about that subject, unfortunately. Never, like I said, never ridden a champ kart, never set up one. But in theory, what I have heard is that they take a lot of cross, they take a lot of right front camber, negative camber, and left. But that's I'm throwing a I'm throwing a noodle at the wall to see if it sticks. I don't know for sure, and I'd hate to give you some bad information when I'm just not knowledgeable about that. Other than that, what else is coming up? World 100, I believe, is en route. I don't know that I'd be any good racing it. It'd be a nice. I went to Jasper in 2019, and I love that track. I love that facility. I thought it was fantastic. The dude with I forgot his name, but he always chewing on a cigar. I met him. He's a super nice dude. I would love to be at least a spectator at that race some year. It's tough once you spend all your monies racing all summer long, and then things like here Christmas and Dixie's coming back, different track than Jasper, but World 100, Christmas is Dixie. This weekend at PK is going to be the Fred Jackson Memorial Race. I'd love to get back down to that. I did that a long time ago when I was back on an air-cooled 125. It's an air-cooled 2-stroke race. They also have UAS race there in conjunction with that. But the Fred Jackson Memorial Race, I'd love to do that. Obviously, Daytona. I go back and forth of whether or not I try and stay as neutral as possible. Did I make a post or share? I think I shared something Chris C put out there when when WKA had dropped the Unlimiteds from Daytona. And I couldn't agree more. It was, Chris was right. It was his first time since '83 or something like that. The Unlimiteds hadn't been at the track, and he had some very good points. And I just, sometimes the decision making with WKA is questionable. I don't know their motives. I don't know why they're doing that. Like because of this channel, I try not to pick sides. I try not to, come off on anybody too hard, because who am I, first off? And secondly, I'm not going to get on here and spout off my mouth about something I don't know the inner workings of. But the Unlimited thing did it initially, and they fixed it. I will say they fixed it. TS Racing came up with some money, put up for the Unlimiteds to be on track. They worked things out behind the scenes. They put Unlimited, wrong, whatever, class they actually consider it, back on the schedule. So kudos for that. But that did, that is on the bucket list. That is on my bucket list of tracks to get to, races to get to. It's just going to take some interesting financial, conditions for me to get down there and actually compete in that race. But I was like, man, if that goes away, that is a bummer. And I race a clone. I got zero issues with clones. Now I got my opinions on having umpteen million clone classes that, a lot of it turns into follow the leader. And I think that Unlimited All-Stars, I think that in general, like if you had some horsepower classes in there, I think it would really put on a show. Not only the UAS bunch, wrong, whatever they're going to run for open engines, but why not, the Black Hat Speed? Why not do a limited mod clone class? Put some horsepower to them. That will make for a race. That the clones race fine. They do good, but a lot of it can be follow the leader. And, people with more experience, more time, more, whatever, whoever's best with tires, that's a thing with everybody. But I think that off throttle time makes for good racing. And if you give people too much horsepower for a go-kart, which would be something along the lines of an Animal, a limited mod clone, obviously UAS or Rung What You Brung, it really, yes, there's a lot of breakage. Yes, there's crashes. Yes, there's, caution lamps and this and that. It's just, that's part of the deal, but it also makes it exciting. That's, I get where they're coming from the money standpoint. That is their nest egg. That is their money maker. That is the whatever term you want to use for it. I totally understand. You got people entering, multiple classes because they don't have to change much on their clones in order to run in there, because I totally understand that. But for the show, for the product that you're trying to put on, for people to line the stands, I think it takes horsepower in order to do a lot of it. I'm not saying there's bad clone races. There can be some doozies. Don't get me wrong. It's just because I come from that world, because that is my mainstay, what that I ran Unlimiteds, and now I run both, and I have back and forth. But I've been in races now with the clone, and it's just a lot of follow the leader, a lot of just who qualifies better, who hits on tires, just right. And it's a 50-lap clone races. It's tough. It's tough. You don't have a ton of comers and goers. You have people that are pretty good, and then you have people that are getting lapped, type of thing. Whereas I think Unlimited All-Stars, yes, it's possible to do that, but even in the back of the pack, you got back and forth. You got people putting on a show. Just my opinion on that, though. Left me for a ridiculous reason yesterday, and now she's dating a black. Okay, that's cool. I guess I'm not. Might not be the show for you, dude. Not talking about relationships, and that's terminology's a little off there. What's going on, Wingnut? How's the tree stand doing? Look like you're all propped up there, ready to go. Did you get anything yet? I got my best friend Doug and his brother's guy. It's bow season up here in New York, and I'm sure down there as well. and I think he's got a couple already, 2 or 3, something like that. Yeah. I'm not a hunter. My wife's a vegetarian. I know. Just listen, she's been a vegetarian. She's 51 now. Don't let her hear me tell you her age, but does nice. Where was I going with that? Oh, she's a vegetarian. She's been a vegetarian since, yeah, she's 51. She's been a vegetarian since she's 18. So I gave up the good fight trying to get her to eat the meats. She's not having it. It's not her thing. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm used to it. Ben's therapy session. I know. I wish I had more going on, or better in tune with the different things. But yeah, I try and be a positive guy. I really do. Like I said, it doesn't mean I don't get down. It doesn't mean I don't get mad or anything. But it's like, man, life's short. Be happy. Try and be happy. Try and enjoy it. I am a simple man. It does not take. Sometimes some strangers or friends, if you will, on the internet, and a monster in your hand. It's a good time, man. It is a good time. I think I'd make a good hunter, only the whole shooting it. Obviously, I've never shot a deer because I'm not a hunter, but the sitting in the woods, waiting, quiet, the squirrels and stuff. I could see myself doing that. My brother-in-law is a big hunter too. Yeah, like I told my wife, maybe eventually I would get my hunting license, and I'd go up to brother-in-law. He's got lots of acreage, all that stuff, tree stands, the whole nine. He's got his garage is all set up for initial processing of the kill. It'd be very easy for me to do. I just it's I have a tendency when I get into something to kind of throw myself into it, and I don't need another hobby. I don't need something that I'm into. I Although I love venison. Venison's delicious. Hello, how you doing, sir? First thing first time caller. Like, I know what you got. You want to talk about some feelings, as I described on somebody, and I get what they're saying. They're just like, hey, don't let the haters get to you or something like that. I was just like, listen, I lost my feelings in the '90s, man. I'm too old. It's you. I have a hard time grasping how you could offend me. You can make me mad. Don't get me wrong, but how you would actually offend me. It's the stuff that Doug might be watching. Doug and I play. We're currently playing Battlefield 6 on PS5, and we do a personal chat. We're not talking amongst everybody, and it's just like it's a good thing because not only the less than courteous language that we use with one another, but the ball bust and the everything else. It's just like, oh man, I'd be in so much trouble if anybody else heard this. My wife has a sound machine, not because she needs it to sleep, but to drown out me when I'm playing video games. I don't feel connected to the cart. What do you suggest? Connected as in, there's a couple ways to interpret it. Connected to the ground, does it have no grip, or are you uncomfortable? Because that's a very real thing. There's umpteen million ways, I think. Seat position, cover. Yeah, seat position is key. It really, even though it takes time, like not to promote myself, but if you watch my seat install video, I'm very meticulous about the way I'm installing my seat, because I know that too high in the back, you're going to be just up in the air type of thing, and you're going to feel like you're sit upright in a chair. But then driver comfort is key, man. If you are out of sorts, when I drove, I'm glad that they let me drive a clone cart, but Motorworks, Kyle Pease let me pilot one of his. It was a Scythe, but it was the first time I actually raced a clone, and it wasn't that there was anything inherently wrong with where it was, but the seat was not set up for me. It was a seat that I was just not comfortable with, and a steering wheel that I had never used before, and I got tired quick. And the cart was fast. It was probably, a little faster than I expected it to be. I expected myself to be, just lap traffic or whatever first time. But the cart was extremely fast, and I was trying to pilot it. I think I was, closing in on running down first before, something happened. But I felt all out of sorts. That is, you have to be comfortable, and you have to take the time in order to to feel right in the cart. I have some seats up here that even when I was in a medium, there's a medium up there. Maybe it's a Safritz or something like that. Did not like it. Didn't like the way it held me. Didn't like the I couldn't get it positioned right. And I ended up just like Todd mentioned here is I changed seats. And as soon as I changed seats, I found myself way more comfy. Now, you don't want to be as comfy that you can fall asleep, but you definitely you if you're going to be in the thing, if you're going to be under G forces, under load the entire time, you're going to want to be in a comfortable position. Not too far up against the engine, not too laid back, not too set up front, not your butt isn't raised too high. There's a lot of things. You just take your time when you're setting up a seat, sit it on the floor, whatever you got to do. Maybe, all right, here's how I'm mounting the actual post. Sit in the seat and then move it around till you actually put your feet on the pedals and maneuver things and feel like, is this comfortable? Do I feel like I'm, this is crazy, type of thing, because it does happen. Uh, you know, uh, and as far as he mentioned front end settings, that goes more into handling that, how twitchy you're making it, how uh, that's a very real thing as well. If you have too much in the seat positioning, if you have too much nose, if your butt's too far forward, if you're loading the nose, maybe it's a little twitchy. Maybe you're going to need to start playing with your front end settings to calm the front end down so it isn't all over the place. I've seen that before. A buddy of mine years ago, he was fast. Tommy, if Tommy won't watch this, but Tommy Volts was his name, or is his name. He's still alive. But he would just squirrel out like and he said it was him, but sometimes you would just see his cart do this, and it's just like, man, there's something off. There's something in the front end geometry. There's something going on that the cart looks unstable. In the corner, it turned really well, which is fine, but you got to have, that not only your seat position and being comfortable, but you have to have the cart that drives right, because it's a handful if your setup is wrong. And it could honestly just come down to tires. Maybe you don't have enough grip. When your seat position's right, your front end geometry is right, keeping the twitchy out of it, making it turn good, but making it, not on a knife's edge type of thing, then it might be something as far as tires. Maybe you look into prep, maybe you look into being a little more aggressive, or, something like that, to actually be in the track, not on the track. Now, on the track, loose is fast, but there's a degree to that. There is that knife's edge that I just kind of mentioned there, that, you don't want that super twitchy, but you don't want to be so on the track that you're not getting grip. That loose is fast until you're too loose, and then too loose is not fast. If that makes any sense. Yoga mat cut down his weight. Yeah, sorry, I ate popcorn. I have a lot of my friends that run, I think it's, is it Cartware? I mean, you can obviously use a yoga mat cut down to get into the seat, to add some padding to it, or I think it's Cartware makes an actual seat pad for carts. And I don't know if it's held in Velcro, if it's just, gravity and you squishing it in there, that type of thing. I think Dan Guild, buddy of mine, he runs one. He runs a bigger seat to give himself some hip room, but then he runs one of those pads in it so that, he's not as old as I am, but the older you get, bumps don't do your back good. I have hemorrhaged positions because it's not that the cart wasn't fast, that I kept on hitting certain bumps and it was really jacking my back up. And I was like, oh, we can't be having this. Yes, absolutely, Todd. Yeah, he's right. I'm not a fan. You see that, I have this steering wheel. That's the Eliminator. And then over here, I have the Kaler Custom. Oh, I can back up. Sorry, my bad. The Kaler Custom. And the MPI steering wheel is a solid one that doesn't move, but what they've done is they've rotated it back towards you. So when you're sitting in the cart, you're like this and you're steering like this. I never liked the flat ones, a standard, not a circle wheel. I didn't mind those back in the day, but I hated racing like this. I absolutely could not take it. I always made it almost, it would be uncomfortable for a lot of people, but I moved my steering shaft down so it dropped that thing in my lap so I could put my hands at the top of the wheels before we had tilt wheels, and then I'd try and bend the thing back so it would face me more until I got the Eliminator wheel and then eventually the Kaler Custom wheel here, to whereas you can actually loosen the nuts, rotate it, and put it side to side or back to you to where it's comfortable. Those MPI wheels are fairly expensive. I can understand why a lot of people have them though. They look like they are super comfy. They got, I also don't like the one thing about the Kaler Custom wheel that I absolutely love is he used a little bit bigger tubing. So your hands aren't tight like this. They're opened up a little bit more. I found that to be very comfortable for my grip. Yeah, you're not wrong. That's between the seat and the steering wheel. Again, where, if you know what I'm talking about, the steering wheel shaft, this right there. See how that can move up and down right there? Getting that so it's not way up in the air, getting it set down so, as long as you can get in the seat and, obviously safety-wise that you could get out of the seat, God forbid something happen, you're not pinned in there type of thing. Getting that as low as possible, for me anyway, is nice when you can put your hands on the top of the wheel, like I said, and you're doing this. So you're pulling down on this side and you're just kind of, the way it rotates is this one pushes a little bit. So you pull down and push. It makes for a way better time, in my opinion. I did see, did anybody see, I shared it out on my Facebook, Kaler Customs. They did it. I don't want to know the price tag on it. I'm sure it's not. It's not in my budget, but they have that wheel that he made in titanium. I'm like, oh, my. I don't need to save any weight. I'm right about where I need to be on the Shatter Blast here. Like I can race like 365, 10 pounds heavy. Okay. Or just a couple pounds, I can go run 390 or, add a bunch of weight, but I don't need to save weight per se. So a titanium wheel, except for the cool factor, is it's unnecessary for me. I'm not saying for you. If you got the bones to pay for it, if it's something that you're interested in, Mac Kaler, is it MacKalerCustoms.com? I think it's something like that. It's on the board. Way up there. I'm not going to look. But yeah. One thing I did want to mention also, if you follow American Muscle Cart, I know a lot of you are probably clone people, and that's cool. American Muscle Cart is the official page on Facebook for the Unlimited All-Stars. They just released, I believe today, I'm pretty sure I saw it was released. I'm in it. I did a little back and forth with Ernie on it. There's an article that I did in there, but they are coming back out with a magazine. It's going to be 4 issues per year. You can sign up for that, but the first one is a complimentary issue. It is also digital, so you can click on, if you go to American Muscle Cart, you can click on the link I believe I think there might be some clicking around. I'm not quite sure. I haven't done it. I got a preview of it, but if you click around on it, and you can actually view what has been written in the very first one back since Mark's passing. Mark was the I'll say patriarch. Yeah. Anyway, he was the creator of the Unlimited All Star series as it is, and he stopped production of the magazine. Um, as he was having health issues and what have you. And this is the first one back, so it is a digital version of what eventually will be in print. You can sign up for that, get it. It's quarterly. You get 4 of them a year, spring, summer, fall, winter type of thing. They do exposés on different drivers, different products. Matt Kaler Customs is in there as an advertiser. There's a bunch of people. Product 41. I write. I'm going to be doing an article in that magazine as well. This article, as a little teaser, is about front wings and rear wings, and why UAS. What my opinion on why we run them and everything else. So it's pretty cool. What are your plans? 2026, stay local. Probably more of the same. Um, I kind of played this year by ear. Now that I got the Shatter, I got to get the clones taken down to Motorworks and have them just take a peek, make sure everything's hunky dory on them. Pardon me. I have to get the bottom end done on the Bama. I plan on racing, at least a couple quarter point races in UAS. I'll be entered in the points, but not chasing points. I'm going to do that again, just because I like to keep it kind of open. There are some races that I really want to do again. I would like to get out to Dreamfield at least more, a couple times next year. It was a tiny track, but it was a fun track. And if I can manage to get myself the mini gears, in which I'm currently searching around trying to be the best deal I can get. I plan on obviously racing AMS because that's just basically my local track. I really hope to do Clone Wars again down in Sellens Grove, PA. I thought that was fun. Whether it's, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Reaper again, if I'm not mistaken, unless they change something. I plan on that. I would like to get down to Hunterstown again, whether it be on the open or the clone, one of the two. Maybe the clone would be fun. I've never been there, running anything but a UAS ride, so that might be fun. Yes, local stuff. Weed Sport. I'd like to hit Weed Sport again. Definitely, that was fun. I had fully intended on going back, but between my vacation, nationals, and other races that kind of came up, and my schedule and this and that, I couldn't make it happen. But I fully intend on going back out and trying to participate in Weed Sport. I think I have a better grasp at what it's going to take to be fast there. Whether or not I'm fast is there remains to be seen. But yeah, just freestyling. I'm kind of enjoying the later parts of my racing career, if you want to call it that. That I don't want to be involved in points anymore. I chased UAS points for a lot of years, and it was fun. I don't. It's not meaning to be ill-willed in me saying that, but I am extremely competitive. And when I'm throwing myself into something like that, if I get, if something goes wrong, if I get crashed out, if I cough up a win, if I don't score enough points, if I'm not sitting up there, where I think, my mind still says you're fast, and if I don't actually get to being as fast as I want to be, I'm pretty down on myself about my performance, what I'm doing, and I just don't want to be at that point. I don't want to be involved in points where I'm worried about it. It bugs me. It bugged me for the past couple of years. I didn't like there was a couple times that I was close to being tied for the national title, leading into the Grand Nationals, at least in the top 10. And then qualifying goes off at the Grand Nationals and I drop the ball. And then I got to race B mains and I got to, qualify my way in through heat races. And it just, I've never been a great qualifier. So it really, I can race good. I'm a better racer than I am a qualifier, and I should be good at both, but I'm just not. It's been a thorn in my side for a while, and it upsets me on that big stage to fail so miserably. But yeah. Hey Tony, what's going on? We have Thanksgiving Thunder happening this year. Oh yeah, that's a good question. That used to be the big to-do. GKK, I haven't heard anything. You would think. I mean, we're getting into November here in 2 days, right? 2 days? 2 days. Yeah, that used to be the big to-do at GKK. I haven't heard anything about it. I know that did they not, the last time they ran it, I know what happened last time. They tried to run it, and the thing got postponed months back because they were losing every single weekend due to weather, something like that. It was crazy. And I think they ran Thanksgiving Thunder, I want to say in January or something like that. It was something crazy. GKK was a fun track. That was that was one of the races there that I had to qualify my way in through the heat race. I was way back in the pack. I made it through, some of the carnage and everything. I ended up 5th in that race in what was that, 2022. That was the best year I ever had in points in UAS. I ended up 3rd in the nation in points. I drove up to 5th. It's just obviously the juggernaut that is Evan C. was performing quite well again. Big surprise. Yep. It's a good time. But yeah, I'd like to see things. I'd like to see all these races come back together. It's timing. It's it's the economy. It's the state of karting. There's a whole lot of things that go into having these races come back or do well and everything else. The Cajun Nationals there does well every year, and whatever magic they got going on, and I mean this is no insult. I'd love to get to the race. It's we'll put it bucket adjacent in my bucket list of races to go to, but sometimes it looks like a S show. I'd like to use that word, but I don't swear on here. Sometimes it looks like a cluster. Tiny track, indoor, the bottom line starts to get torn off. It really takes some knowledge and some real serious people wheeling the cart to get around there and to win. And it's got to get with a slot machine is the award they get there. I listen to Four Takes of Fuel all the time, and they talk about it. Obviously, they're fairly, I would say, local to it, but they're closer to it than obviously I am. And it's cool that it would be a cool spectacle. If anything, again, much like the World 100, to go and at least watch. But if I were to make that trip, I would definitely want to take my Open, just because, why not? If you're gonna go, why not? I think something like the World 100 or something like that. I am so new to the world of clone racing that it would be it'd be a money here's my money, donate it to the purse. Hey, what's going on? Yes, Mike and Mike. Oh yeah, they have Matt Kaler and Shatter. They advertised in the inaugural, the reissue. No, that's not right. The reimagining of the American Muscle Cart magazine. They're in there. Shatter Chat, man, picture of Shatter Chassis. I saw it today. I was just like, hey, I've seen that before. I know what's up. That's a good cart. Sitting right there. But yeah, I was thinking Sunday. I think I'm gonna do the video on treads. I've done video on treads before, but I got some opinions on treads and kind of putting a feeler out. I asked the question on the YouTube in my community before, and I took a snapshot of that, what the results of that were, and very positive. So that got into my brain, and I wanted to talk about treads a little bit. It is hard for me to speak on things. I haven't run treads in, I think I owned treads in 2006, 2007. It might have been the last time I ran treads. So it's not coming from a place of knowledge, but opinions on the state of karting and treads is basically where I think they have a really cool name. I don't want to give it out yet because I think it'll be funny slash a cool thumbnail at least. But yeah, I think that Sunday is going to be a video on treads and the state of karting, with treads type of thing. And I got a bunch more. I wanted to do a dedicated video for Kaler Customs, the pieces that I have. I want to talk about them a little bit. I got a bunch more ideas coming here in the near future. But yeah, my wife asked me when I was going to start doing these inside, and I said soon. So not that it matters to you guys because it's always just me. But I may be inside discussing this in my kitchen or something like that. So my toes aren't as cold as they are right now. But as long as I can get out here to do videos, as long as I can get out here to do lives, I'm gonna continue to do so. Just because I don't know, when I get in the barn, when I get in this area, I feel more comfortable and I feel all racy and talking about racing type of thing. So there's that. But yeah, I think I got some pretty cool ideas for videos coming up. Like I said last week that it was, what was the last video? I can't even remember. I don't write it on the board anymore, so I can't, what was it? Titanium clutches. Yeah. I wanted to do, I do have at least one, the Kaler thing. Maybe something else. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, product reviews. I like doing them. I like showing them and everything. But I want to, I love having the products. I love having the support from companies and everything like that. But I definitely have to balance that out with actual, kart knowledge type of thing. Even though it's kart related and everything, I definitely need to. I know you would think I had a kerosene heater. Is it still up there? It stopped working. My kerosene heater stopped working, and I just have my buddy Walt that he used to have this diesel run. Was it loud? It wasn't that loud, but it was a diesel run radiant heater, and I just didn't have that. He was selling it, and I didn't have the money to buy it. It was serious. Like I want to say it's like $2,500, but that thing that I could have been out in this barn all winter long, no problem. I mean, even as there's no insulation in here. Even without that thing within 10 minutes would have had this place like 80 degrees. I would have been walking around in shorts in here in the dead of winter. But he was just like, oh, I'll give you first dibs on it. I was like, all right, cool. And he told me like $2,500. I'm like, oh, never mind. Nice. Yeah. I've never had a heater. Well, I had that kerosene heater. That's and when back when it was years ago, but I'd have it set there, and what I'd do is I'd fire it up. Obviously, I'd go inside, let it get that warm. But the concrete floor here, I mean, it's just concrete, and it holds the cold. And I would be working on a car, because I just couldn't keep my hands off stuff. I wanted to break down stuff, change bearings, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I'd work on stuff till I couldn't feel my fingers anymore. And I'd stand over the kerosene heater, warm my fingers back up. Oh, yeah, it feels pretty. Go back to work, 5-10 minutes, back and forth, just so I could be out here doing stuff. But I've since, you could say, got smarter or just started hating the cold more, that I don't do that. You will find me, though, as soon as there's an inkling of a break in the weather, I'll be out here. Even if it's cold, like I'll be out here and just, double up my socks and stuff like that. It's my own fault. I don't have proper winter wear, even though I live in the Northeast. New hubs going on this week. Get ready for Dega. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, the 5.3 titanium stuff's really nice. even if you're not in the market for a titanium clutch, look at their other products, their hubs. I don't even think they're that much more expensive than say factory Phantom or something like that. I think their rear hubs are exceptional. Obviously the titanium studs are excellent. I will say this: it's not a drawback or anything like that. Lock tight the studs, or really, really reef them in there. Maybe Loctite's a bit drastic. You might not want to do that. It's I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I would say I have had a couple I didn't have tightened good enough, and when you go to run your nut on the outside of it, it kind of backed it out. I didn't like that at all. So they're threading. Um, give them a good, and since I did that, I took the time. It was my own laziness. I had the cart in. I think I'd wash it or something like that, and I got in there and I gave them a good sauce. But yeah, 92 in the shop. Really? Wow, that'd be nice. Yeah, I don't even know. It's probably 45, 50 degrees here now. Maybe it's 40. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Can't see my breath yet, so it's not cold enough to. Obviously, I'm not no hot beverage. I'm drinking a Monster. Do you know that? Side note: these things have been out for years, and I never had one up until I think this spring, and then finally I was just like, all right, what's with the white Monsters? And I don't drink a lot of them. I just I'll go through periods of time where I'm like, ooh, white Monster, and then I kind of like, hey man, stop. My wife says I have a highly addictive personality. And I'm like, she's not wrong. But I discovered the white Monsters, and I know they're not great for you. So I try and keep it at bay. There was at one point in time where I was going Red Bull crazy a couple years back. This is how far back it was. My friend Steven Gleason, who was the creator of the PK 250 along with Pro Kart, he was the car chief on, I believe it was the 83 Red Bull Toyota. That's how far back, because he was, it was way back then. It was a Michael Waltrip Racing, and he had the Red Bull car, and we were talking back and forth. I was like, by the way, I think I have an addiction to Red Bull. Yeah, I know. Head south. I wish I could. It's for I'd say my kart racing fund would be zero, but I ended up, I don't know if I told anybody, I sold the Recon. Local guy bought it. I thought pretty decent deal, cheap enough that somebody was getting a decent chassis. It just 2016, and I prefer, for whatever reason, I just prefer the open on the scythe. I think it was entry. I like the way it drives into the corner different. Maybe the Recon got off the corner a little better, but I love the shoot speed, the entry and center of the corner. I really like on the scythe. So I decided to sell. Obviously, I got the Shatter here. I decided to make the scythe back into my open and then sell off the Recon. So it gave me a little bit of funds, and hence the post why I started looking for mini gears, because before I find a way to rid myself, I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to get something that I really want for next year. I'm not very good with money. It's like it's burning a hole in my pocket. But I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to be. I did have a couple people, saying that they're going to look for doubles and this and that. I did reach out to JC Specialties and see what kind of deal I can get. I did notice mini gears themselves, at least Nitro, were a pretty good price. I kind of wanted the Gambit. Now, I know I say mini gears, but what I would like, I don't know if it's possible. This is in my research, that I want to be able to run the same hub from a 48 up to like a 63. I think that will give me the range. Now, I've also thought, because of my cheapness, what if I skip some teeth in there, and I could always change driver in order to make up for that type of thing. So I wasn't buying a 30 $35 gear every time. But was it WMS or was it Precision? It might have been Precision that had a real gambit of it. But I was trying to. I don't know if it's possible. I think you have to. I was just looking for everything lightweight as best I could get. And honestly, I have a lot of gears here that have seen better days. Like, I've been running them a lot of years, and they should probably make their way out, or they could, go to somewhere and sell them off super cheap type of thing. But I was trying to have a cohesive bunch of gears that I could run. But I do have to keep in mind, now that I'm mentioning that, I got to keep some around for the Open, because if I say I were to go with Precision Manufacturing, they're lightweight gears that I don't think are a good idea for an Open. Like, I'm not against running full solid gears on the Open, because that thing does not care. I'm not, I'm not, I'm not trying to lose rotating mass when it comes to the Bama 250. But yeah, for the clone racing, I would like to. I'm working on it anyway. That's why I put that post out. It's just all through the summer they'd pop up, and I was just like, man, I could buy them, but it really, I wouldn't be able to make nationals, or I wouldn't be able to go to this race or that race. So I'm not going to buy them now. And then once it got to the off season, obviously I get a little bit of money from the recon. I was just like, okay, maybe I'm in the market for some mini gears, and I could buy brand new. I could probably afford to buy brand new, the whole setup. But I've also looked at the price on some of them. I'm like, you. If you buy one or two at a time, it's better. I run 35 chain, Scott, because of the Bama. I run belt drive, and it just comes over to the clutch to go to 35. Some people have changed over to 428. I've never. I say never. No, I won't say never, because I have had chain issues before, and it was in 2023. But I rarely have chain issues with the 35 chain. It once you put the belt on the other side, it takes a whole lot of that out of the way. Obviously, I ran it all year long without a chain issue on the 35 gears. 428 wouldn't be a bad thing, but it just, not only the expense of the 428 having all those gears, having obviously to change, you got to change drivers on your clutch in order to run the bigger chain, but it also lessens your options for gear ratios. Like, if it's just, there's less teeth, and it's a different. Yeah. Well, that makes perfect sense, and I don't disagree with anybody running a Jawa, a big 450 or anything like that, going to the bigger chain. Absolutely. Being this is the 250 is just a two-stroke, doesn't make the torque you guys make. You can get in trouble. They'll eat an aluminum gear, 35 chain aluminum gear alive if you allow it. But I've been running it for so long that there's just some, you make sure your alignment's right, make sure your tension's right, not too loose, not too tight. You start to shark tooth them a little bit, and pitch that gear, put a new chain on it, and get back after it. I still have yet to discover what happened in 2023. Sorry, didn't mean to kick the camera. At Hunterstown, I changed nothing since then, and I've ran 2 years with changing nothing, and I have yet to have a problem. I don't know. The racing gods were unkind to me that day. That's all I can come up with. We checked alignment, brand new chain, brand new sprocket. Even after I threw it once, had another set that side, put a brand new sprocket back on it, threw it again. Just not. It wasn't my day. You'll find that, and that might eventually be a video. Sometimes it's just not your day. Sometimes the chips don't fall where where you want them to fall, all the analogies you could possibly come up with. Racing is racing. You pay your money, you take your chances. The end of the season was that for me. I had clutch problems in Iowa that I never seemed to have before. Randomly at the biggest race of the year, I have clutch problems. I had zero motor issues all year long with the clone. It starts breaking up at the dream at the dream. The dream at the dream. I don't know. That sometimes it's just not your day. Sometimes things just things happen. It's racing. Yes, I was. I kicked it at the Nationals in Hunterstown. It wasn't towards my wife. It was in the vicinity of my wife. But I had the third chain came off, and there was a tire sitting on the ramp of my trailer, and it might as well have been a football, and that was 3 points right there because I booted that thing into the trailer so hard. You can get me mad. This smile can go away. It takes a lot for me to get there. Apparently, losing your chain 3 times at the biggest race of the year, that'll get me there. That'll get me mad. Having clutch problems all day long at in Iowa, 15 hours away from home, 18 hours, whatever you want to say, from home, and having clutch problems, and then getting run over because your carburetor's goofing up on you. That'll do it too. You got to give me 5 minutes. Let me, like a teapot. You got to let me burn off some steam, and then I'm good to go. I'm right back to this. I'm like, it takes me a second to come back down and go, okay, I'm good. Yep. Yeah, it does. It really does. Stuff that you never see coming. It's the darndest thing. It's just like, you chose now to happen? Okay, well, there's that. That's oh my goodness. It's and it's, I think it's age. And a lot of, if you're younger than me or older, whatever, you do find that frustrations happen. The older I get, the more gray hairs I get, the more I go, yep, that's par for the course. That's racing. That happens. And I find myself, like, not okay with it, but yeah, I got it. It happens. And it happened at Nationals. I've told many people. I talked to Juan Greeno there when I was on the phone, and we were talking about Nationals, and I said, with the exception of racing, it was a awesome weekend. Seeing friends, the experience, going out there with my buddies, the laughs we had, everything except for my on-track performance. That happens, man. And I everybody races to win. Everybody wants to win. I race now for the experience, for the fun, for the love of the game type of thing. Of course, I'm there to win. But when it doesn't, I count my blessings. I count my blessings that I'm alive, happy, I'm with friends. I think you can be driven. You can not accept defeat. You can be all wound up about it. I just, the older I get, the less desire I have for that, and more the fun of it. It may have made me less competitive. I don't know. I'm not willing to admit that, but it happens. But yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I had my carburetor sticking. Yeah, that's serious. That's all right. It's on here. I can show the example. I was on that big quarter mile that I always talk about. I raced. So this, your throttle linkage here. This, what I speak about here, right here. Well, some bonehead never had a problem with it. Apparently, I had hit a rock, and I had the button heads were down, and the bolt was up, holding the throttle linkage on the floor pan. Well, it was right by one of the tabs for the belly pan. I hit a rock and it bent that tab up, and it brought the floor pan up, and it pushed those two bolts up into the throttle. So when I was coming down that big quarter mile, I mean, you hit almost 80. I think the fastest I got on it was like 79.6 was on my Micron. And so even if I was, a mile or 2 hour off of that, I went into the corner and my foot came off the throttle wide open. Going into, I probably should have read that day, because holy crap, somebody might have needed to check the drawers, because oh man, I spun it out on purpose. It just went I just spun it and let it go off the track, and I must have hit something and it jarred it loose. And I go, oh man, yep, been there. Yeah, Juan. He beat me so bad in GKK. He was in the same heat race as me. Now, top two transferred. He took off. I mean, he was leaving me, and I was just, as I was coming out of turn, I'm just giving a look, and I'm like, apparently I started to leave third, and they're just like, oh, you weren't trying to keep with them. I was like, transfer second, man. Why burn your stuff up? Why run the risk of looping it? I'm not going to take myself out of this race. I'll let the chips fall where they may, type of thing. I don't know if I'm using that term right. Anyway, yeah, but Juan he destroyed me in that heat race. That was my first experience with him. And then I briefly saw him at Iowa. I didn't get to say hi to him, but we talked on the phone a little bit after, a couple weeks after. Such a good dude. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, at that point, hold on. Yep. Woo. I went right over to, oh yeah. Just put wings on the car. Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be all right. I think that ask the question, what are my thoughts on karting in 2026? I think it'll be okay. This last little drama thing, it'll figure itself out. Beginning of the episode, we'll call it an episode. I don't think Reaper's really going anywhere. I don't see why. I don't know where the promotional side is going to go from here with them. Then again, you don't have anybody really promoting Maxis. You don't have anybody promoting, Burris. They just have their tracks, their races they put on. They don't have a Terry doing that. But I think it'll hold serve. I think that you're seeing some big money races. I think there's I think the treads, the video on Sunday, I think that treads are doing their thing. I think they're making a little push here. I think people are going to bite onto it. Do I think it's going to overtake slicks? I don't, but that's just my opinion. But yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I try, man. I try and be. I try and not I don't pat myself on the back. I'm not that person. I don't think I'm all that in a bag of chips. I'm not an arrogant person, but I am trying my best. I'm trying to be a beacon of light. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to put a platform out there to where people are like, what is this? What do you speak of when what do you mean dirt oval racing type of thing? I try and do that. I try and live. I don't know what the term is. I live by example. I try and not. I just try not to engage in the negative, and I think that you don't get anywhere engaging in the negative. I think doing a positive thing, promoting it the best I can in a good light is the way to go. But yeah, I think it'll probably hold serve. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think there's pieces and parts that are moving. Series are coming back. Some tracks obviously are gonna fall under. We'll see what happens with all the tire stuff. whether, Reaper is going to go I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I think there's going to be an adjustment in the way they, I'm not reading into anything, just my perception of it. I think there'll be an adjustment in the way they promote themselves and do their thing. And once the dust settles, I think this was, this past year was the first year that they made the huge push. And I think it'll even out, just like, Burris and Vega and Maxis did before. I think everything will kind of, even out. People, choose their fights, choose their races, choose their, where they want to go and spend their money type of thing. But I think it'll be okay. Yeah, one little anecdotal evidence of that is that you're seeing like the Shatter chassis. You're not just seeing chassis companies be the big 3 or 4. There maybe there's 5. I could list them off. What the major chassis companies are. You're seeing a little bit more the Inception. That Kart, the Infinity. Obviously Shatter, stuff like that. You're seeing a little bit of the small manufacturers start to peek their head up and look around like, hey, what's going on? That's good. That's, I think that's good for business. I think that's good for karting in general. When you see, not only competition, but you see somebody actually take the time to put themselves out there, and I think it's just a good thing. Can you make a video breaking down, I don't know, the clone classes? I can. It's going to be hard because I don't quite understand down south is a lot different than up here. We have very defined clone classes. They're by weight. And then you have the juniors, or what I call the juniors, the red plates, purple plates, blah, blah, blah plates. Those are just age restriction and, what plate keeps their horsepower restricted. Down south, on the other hand, the pro, no pro, semi-pro, something pro, the pro, and then the pro classes, and then I've never run in a series that was that big. Maybe the clone race in Selins Grove, PA, the Clone Wars, they had some of that, but not a lot. So it would be, it's just, I don't quite understand what a semi-pro, no pro is, other than paying for the pro classes. You can run these classes, and that gives us, it doesn't pay a lot to run these classes. It gives you more track time, but it gives us money to pay the big purses for the pro classes. That's the long end of the short, or whatever. We are a junior team's son and dad, and they don't make it easy. Oh, thank you very much. I try. I really appreciate you coming by and watching the videos and everything. I seriously do. Like, as soon as people stop watching, I'll stop making them. Probably stop making them. I do enjoy making videos, but yeah, in general, as people watch them, as people such as yourself, say positive things and that, and enjoy the videos, I'll keep on doing them. I don't see an end in sight. I have no idea when I'd ever retire from doing this. It's kind of like my race season now. I play it by ear. As long as people watch, as long as people subscribe to the channel, as long as people enjoy my content, I'll keep on doing it, man. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, me either. I don't want to ever engage in the negative. The gossips, they can gossip. They can do their thing. And don't get me wrong, I love a good piece of drama as much as the next person. I like to read it. I'm like, oh man, what's going on here? Holy crap. I just don't share it. I don't engage. I don't comment. I just won't do it. It doesn't do any good. I find this the same, the same mentality as I do. I use Facebook for family and racing. I don't engage in politics and all this stuff. I have opinions. I have lots of opinions. I just don't engage in it. And the same concept goes for the drama that happens. I'll read it. I'm there to read it. I just won't engage. I don't need to. I don't think my opinion matters that much that it means a hell of a. I'm not going to change anybody's mind on it. And some people love to argue. I've been known to engage in some arguments myself in life, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to add to negative. I really don't. I don't think it does any good. And all I'm going to do is alienate these people from those people and have this series mad at me or this tire. It's just dumb. I could make clickbait videos. I have the ideas in my head. You know, I could do the next video. What happened between Terry Odom and Reaper? What's going on there? I could do something stupid like that for clicks, for maybe likes. Why? Why engage in it? Why feed into a fire that I know nothing about? I don't know what happened behind the scenes, and I wish Terry nothing but the best. I hope that he enjoys life with his family and all that stuff. I'm not going to engage in other. Doesn't mean I go on, whatever forum, whatever, friend is sharing whatever about this or that. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Holy crap. Yep. Oh, hello. Shows your karts and motors you run. I can't, I say they're dirty. I washed the, yeah. I kind of, we're 75 minutes. Probably should get off here. This is going to be the open. This is my scythe. It's all torn down, not partially torn down. See my big break? But this, I had to swap parts over to sell the Recon. But this engine, it's a 250cc two-stroke, the Bama 250. Okay. And then this one, is this zoomed in? All right. This is the Shatter 2025. Might as well be 2026 because I'm getting it. I just got it. But this is the Shatter Blast. Take a peek, look-see. This is my cart that I'm currently running for clone. And that, yeah, my clone is over here. I got another one out in the, right there's my clone. But yeah, that's all I got now. This shop used to be full of all sorts of engine packages and different carts and all that. But right now I have two carts. I have an open, aka UAS cart, and I have the Shatter for the clone. That is what I have in this here garage. Everything's torn down for the winter. But newcomer, the sport, just want to say thanks. Thank you very much. Yeah, I it's not the base premise of the video of this channel was not my doing. It was encouraged by other people, but it was if you search up Harold Wiggins Phantom Racing chassis, he did some very basic, it was 10 years ago, maybe more, probably more. Phantom used to have a series, talking about camber and caster and stuff like that, just base stuff. But I took that inspiration and thought, you know what, to help it. But you could call me running Unlimited All Stars, the if you want to say pinnacle, I'd like to say, horsepower wise it is in kart racing. But people who don't, it took me 20 plus years to understand what I understand now. If I only put out some videos, if I put out the information, even if I'm, just giving broad strokes or vague, explanations, this could be useful to somebody who just gets into racing, somebody who just doesn't know. They go to hey, buddy gets you to a local dirt kart track, and you're just like, man, how do you understand cross? How do you understand what does this do? I thought that the videos are unlimited in which I could do, between racing and products and tires and everything else. It kind of became a little bigger than I thought it was going to be, but I appreciate all the support. If it wasn't for you guys, it wouldn't be here. So to me, most of what I know is about the sport. Now is thanks to appreciate that. That's who was it? Was it Hardy did that video? Oh my God! Everybody has a tire guy that knows what he's doing, and then he plays a video of this. Welcome to Kart. Oh man, that was my wife. My wife gave me so much crap. But oh man, I have been on here almost 80 minutes. That is That wasn't my intention to go that long, but you know, I really appreciate you guys engaging and stuff. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go carve some pumpkins with my family. They're probably waiting on me mad because I won't shut up ever. But thank you very much for stopping by. Sunday is going to be a video on treads. Yeah, unless I change my mind, but talk about tread tires and what my opinions of where that's going. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate you coming by. Catch you later.